Tonight on Whip City Weekly, I get to talk to a new all-girls a cappella group in this week's Club Spotlight.
There's a new safety system in place on the WSU campus, how it is helping to keep our school safe.
And the team is back for another segment of the Whip City Roundtable.
All that and more when Whip City Weekly starts right now. Thank you for tuning into Whip City Weekly. I'm Christina Pinto.
And I'm Megan Lucier.
The Westfield Barnes Regional Airport will have a new restaurant opening in 2014. Developer Peter Pappas plans to renovate the site previously held by the Runway by B. Shara restaurant. The 1,400 square foot restaurant has been closed since June. Pappas plans to invest over $1 million into the facility. The restaurant will be called P. Apps and host fine casual dining. Looking to spread some holiday cheer? You can volunteer to sing in this year's Christmas concert to benefit the American Cancer Society. The chorus will be comprised of singers from all over the greater Springfield area, and all volunteers are welcome. The music will consist of classic holiday sing-alongs accompanied by a cathedral organist. The event will be held on Sunday, December 8th at 3:30 p.m. at Springfield St. George Greek Orthodox Cathedral.
Big Y has begun their annual effort to help sack hunger for just $10. Customers can bag of non-perishable groceries which the store donates to their local food bank. The bank then brings the sacks to area soup kitchens, food pantries, and other places in need. Nearly 40,000 bags have been donated since the program started 4 years ago. It runs in every Big Y store until December 31st. The WSU football coach has led his team to many victories, but now he is retiring. Our very own May Randall was able to catch up with him before the end of his last season.
Third longest tenure in New England Division III football, 3 coaches awards, and 24 years of service here at WSU. Who are we talking about? Coach Steve Marino of the WSU Owls football team. We came here to talk to him and some of his players about his decision to retire after 24 seasons coaching. So, Coach Marino, why did you decide to retire now after 24 seasons?
Well, 24 years is a long time to be at one place for anyone, but I think I've reached an age where energy is an issue, to be honest with you. I'm not sure I have the same amount of energy I had when I started, and this is really a full-time job, and it requires a lot of energy, and the kids deserve a coach with a lot of energy. I don't think I have what I used to have years ago, so I think it's time.
And what will you miss the most after this 24-year tenure?
I'll miss being around the kids. They're great kids. I love being here. I mean, the kids do give you some energy, but, not enough to keep me going. And I'll really miss it. I'll miss football. I love coaching. I've been coaching for 40 years.
So, Dylan, what was your first impression of Coach Marino like?
When I was coming here, talking to Coach Marino about coming here, first impression was that he was kind of like a player's coach. All the players were close with him. He cared about his players, and that he just knew how to win.
So, when Coach Marino retires, how much are you going to miss him?
I'm going to miss him deeply. I mean, I'm not a senior. I haven't been here for 4 years with him, but I've been lucky enough to share 3 years with him. He's a great coach, a great mentor, great guy outside of football, and there's just so many qualities of him that, you look for in a coach, and you hate to see a guy like that leave, so I'll miss him deeply.
Well, I'm going to play golf and play with my grandkids. I have 4 grandchildren that I love to death, so I'll spend more time with them, more time with my family. My wife and I haven't had a dinner in the fall in 40 years, so we'll have some dinners in the fall together for the first time in a long time.
With the weather getting colder and the season coming to a close, we wish nothing but the best for Coach Marino's future. Until next time, for Whip City Weekly, I'm May Randall.
November is a big month for Sodexo food events. Some highlights for this month include Apple Fest on the 13th from 4:30 to 8 p.m. at the DC, the Student versus Food Pie eating contest on the 20th, and of course, a Thanksgiving dinner will be served at the Dining Commons on the 21st from 4:30 to 8. Sodexo hopes to see students at all of these events.
Following recent criticism for not having a Black female cast member, Saturday Night Live took matters into their own comedic hands. Last Saturday's show opened with a skit where host Kerry Washington plays Michelle Obama. Soon after the skit begins, she's asked to change to portray Oprah Winfrey and then Beyonce. But before she does, the producer interrupts with a voiceover apologizing for the number of Black women Washington has to play. He promises to solve the problem unless they fall in love with another white guy first. The entire city of Westfield may have heard the alarm system on the Westfield campus last week.
The drill was a part of a new campus safety system. Whip City Weekly's Felicia Hopkins talked to campus police about the changes.
Last Friday, students at Westfield State University had a mock evacuation drill led by campus security. I sit down and talk with the chief of police at Westfield State. How do you think the drill went on Friday?
I think the drill went very well, was well executed. We do have some bumps in the road that we got to work on, but that's why we drill.
Happening? What were you guys testing?
We were testing, we were using 2 academic buildings. We were testing Bates Hall for full evacuation. And once people evacuated the building, we were looking to make sure that there was full compliance with the evacuation. And secondly, once they evacuated to a certain evacuation area, we wanted to do an accountability check to make sure that we had everybody that was in that building.
Have there been any emergency situations here at Westfield State?
It was 2 years ago that we had an emergency situation here. In fact, this time of year, we had a major snowstorm, which knocked out all the power for the city of Westfield. And I had gotten a request from the chief of police stating to the effect if we could assist them. They had no place to place the elderly and the sick. And we said absolutely, and we opened up 2 shelters here. It was open for 7 days, and we cared for about 400 people during that time.
For Whip City Weekly, I'm Felicia Hopkins.
Coming up, Police does it, Pitch Perfect's done it, and now Westfield's doing it.
We're talking a cappella, and there's a new all-girls group on campus.
The president of the group is in the studio, and when we return, I'll get to chat with her.
But before we go to break, here's the results of last week's election.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Nice. No.
Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Hello, and welcome to our second segment of Club Spotlight. I'm your host, Megan Lucier, and I'm here with the founder of a new club, the Aka Owlettes on campus, Stacy Walks.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. So please tell me, how did you start this club?
Well, as you know, Westfield State only has one a cappella group on campus, and Westfield's trying to make it known now that we're a university, we're no longer a college, and many universities in the United States, they have more than one a cappella group anyways. So the other founder of the group, Olivia Dumas, she's not here today, she approached me after Night Owls had their auditions, and we were thinking that there's plenty of girls on this campus, not so much guys, but there's plenty of girls on this campus that have been trying to find a place where they can sing, and a lot of them don't have that place. So we were talking one night, And we thought maybe we could approach the directors of Night Owls and see if we could branch off and create another group strictly for all the girls out there on this campus who wanted somewhere to sing. So we approached them, and they told us that it was a good idea, absolutely, because it's definitely a better way to have more groups on campus. So we went for it, and we got our constitution, and we got SGA approved. So here we are today.
Now, did you get any inspiration from this, say from like TV shows like Glee or the movie Pitch Perfect that just came out? Was there inspiration coming off from that?
Well, Olivia and I both, we've been in a cappella groups since high school, so it's always something that's been a part of us. And it's kind of like, we kind of joke about it now because all of a sudden, like, they make these movies and it's the big cool thing, but we like to think that we were part of it before that. However, I do think that the movies like Pitch Perfect is what is drawing all the attention from the girls on campus who want a group to sing. So I think that that helped with everybody else.
So how did your tryout turn out? How many girls showed up? How many are you taking on your club?
We had well over 20 show up, which was good. That was something that we were hoping to expect. I mean, this is the first time we ever did anything like this. We did have to make cuts too, which was really difficult, but we now have a group of 15 girls, and sound-wise and like blend-wise, it's a really good amount of girls, and mic-wise at Dever and everything.
When do you guys meet?
Mondays and Thursdays. We meet at 9 in Bates.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Now, I know you're also a member of the WSU Dance Company. How is being a part of two different clubs trying to balance those two out?
No, I mean, it gets difficult at times, but I had joined Dance Company before we even decided to make the group. This is my first year in Dance Company too, though, so I'm kind of new at everything. But I had already picked my dances for the semester, and then when we decided to make the group, we just picked rehearsal times that worked for Olivia and I, because she's also extremely busy as well. So we found that Mondays and Thursdays would benefit us. So Thursdays and Mondays, yeah, they can get tough. I'm taking the shuttle, you know, from Woodward to Bates, like back and forth, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
Now, can we expect the Aka Owlettes to be performing anytime soon and to be showcasing your talent in anything?
We are expected at this moment to be opening for Night Owls in December at the Night Owls fall concert, and then in the spring, hopefully, we hope to have a show of our own.
That's exciting. So I think that's all the questions I have for you today. And when we come back, we'll have the third segment of the round table with host Drew Belsky and guests May Randall and Nick O'Dell. Stay with us.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. I'll teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book could be the first little thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
All right, good evening and welcome to the third installment of Whip City Sports Roundtable. I'm Drew Belsky, and here with me at the semicircle are Nick O'Dell and May Randall. All right, how are you guys?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right. Pretty good. That's good. Let's get to business. So the Red Sox front office didn't stay inactive very long after celebrating their World Series victory. They immediately offered Ellsbury, Napoli, and Drew qualifying offers to come back to the team. They unfortunately left Salty out of it.
what do you think of who's coming back?
Well, I think out of the 4 free agents, Ellsbury, Stephen Drew, Mike Napoli, and Jared Saltamaki, I think Mike Napoli and Stephen Drew will be back with the Red Sox. I think Ellsbury and Saltamaki will be not returning. The reason why with Ellsbury's a big name.
Looking for a big contract.
Yeah, he's looking for the big contract, and I think the Red Sox are not about that. They're not about giving players long-term contracts because of the whole spiel with the Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford contracts and how that worked out. So I think Ellsbury and Saltamaki won't return, and Ellsbury has Scott Boras as his agent, so.
Clearly looking for something big.
Yep, clearly looking for something big. So, that's my take. May?
I hope Drew won't come back, honestly, because, defensively he's great. Batting-wise, not so great, but we can get a shortstop who can do both. So that's my take on that. Hope Napoli does come back. I think he will.
Do still have Bogarts as well.
Exactly, yeah. So, as for Salty, once again, we have other catchers. Actually, we have Ross and Lavarnway, so they can take a chance with those two. Don't really know much about Ross being a starter, but we have him. And then as far as Ellsbury is concerned, I would love to see him back in the spring, but at the same time, like you just said, his agent, he's going to get a lot of money somewhere, and they can pay the same amount for a couple of other players rather than pay him. So.
All right. Okay, so as one season ends, another begins. The Boston Bruins had an unusually loud offseason, making a blockbuster trade and signing their stars to really big contracts. They made all the right moves because they started out 7-2. Although they're going on a skid right now, they've won only one of their last 5 games, most recently losing to Sagan and the Dallas Stars. So what's happening in Boston?
Well, I think they're just going through a little skid right now. I think they're going to come back out of it. They still have the players that they got in the offseason. I think Iginla and Erickson will continue to play well. But the Sagan game last night, I've heard that the Bruins, or I should say Bruin Nation, the Bruins fans have labeled Sagan as the villain.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really think Sagan should be the villain. Sagan got traded away; he didn't leave, and we got a lot of the Bruins got a lot of players in return in Erickson,
who has
been
phenomenal for us so far.
Yeah, and then we signed Iginla. Overall, I think the Bruins will do just fine. They're just going through a little skid. They're still last time I checked the standings, they were in second place.
Yep, they're
tied for second place. They're 3 points out of the, 3 points out of first. So, it's still early on. I'm not concerned at all about the Bruins.
Okay.
I agree. I think they're going to definitely pick it up and get back on their feet. I am excited to see how Erickson does. He has at least 25 goals in the past 3 full seasons, so that's definitely good for us. And Iginla kind of makes up for trading Horton, so that works out well, I think, as well. So with those 2 new players, and I really do wish that we kept Sagan, but we'll figure it out.
All right, sounds good. So bullying has become a serious offense in schools around the country, but what about in professional sports? You guys know the Miami offensive lineman John Martin left the team October 28th because of what has now come to light as hazing from, or alleged hazing from Richie Incognito, who has been suspended by the team while they're looking into it. So what do you guys think about the incident, and what do you guys say is there something being set as a precedent for kids?
Well, I think, first of all, the whole incident with the Miami Dolphins hazing with Incognito and Martin, I think it's wrong. It's setting a bad example for our youth, and it's just wrong. Are we in middle school? Is this what it is? It's wrong.
Okay, let me just step in. Let me just step in right now, because I have the exact opposite opinion of you. I think that this is the NFL. These are grown men. If Martin is really being targeted, he needs to step up and say something. It's what goes on in the locker room stays in the locker room. If you can't handle the heat, kind of get out of the kitchen kind of thing. Martin definitely could have went up to Incognito, what's the issue, whatever. They didn't. Hazing is part of the NFL. It's just what goes on. There obviously is the racism part, which you can argue that either way, I think, although it does look very bad. And then there's also the part where they kind of
forced him into paying $15,000 for a trip to Las Vegas that Martin didn't take part in. But at the same time, it's the NFL, you know, and he made himself a victim really by kind of sitting down and not really doing anything about it. So
But you're saying it's okay for people to just get victimized if they don't say anything.
I mean, obviously he's not in the wrong by not standing up for himself, but once again, it's like kind of what goes on in the locker room stays in the locker room, and
then,
it's kind of, I don't know, I think he kind of made himself a victim.
Okay, all right. I suppose finally basketball season is about to come back for Westfield. Westfield State men's team's getting ready for a new season after they fell short last season with a disappointing elimination in the semifinals to 5th seed Fitchburg. Wow. They're ranked 5th this year in the coaches poll behind MCLA at number 1. How far do you guys think the Owls will go? How well do you think they'll do this season?
I think they're going to do hopefully great. Last year they were 20-3-6. Out of their top 5 scorers from last season, only 2 have returned, being Jordan Santiago and Grant Cooper. So we do still have those 2 great guys to kind of help carry us. We also have 3 forwards that are veterans that can kind of step up, Dan Johnson, Dan Tessier, and Brian Foley. So those guys can step up into those and take those roles of the 3 guys who left. But it is a new team.
Kind of a big hole.
Oh,
they lost MassTech Player of the Year. So
yep,
that's
definitely.
A big
it's
hole
going to be up to them
fill.
to kind of take their responsibility, step up. There are 5 freshmen on the team, so it's kind of going to be maybe a rebuilding kind of year.
I think the Westfield State basketball team will struggle, you know, this season because as you said, they lost like 3 of their top 5 scorers.
All-American and MassTech.
No, yeah, like All-American and MassTech. So I think it's going to be a struggle for them. But hey, every team starts at 0-0. We'll see what happens, and so yeah, we'll see what happens.
I agree. Their season starts November 15th against Southern Maine. And that does it for this edition of the Sports Roundtable. We're going to take a 6-day break. See you next time next week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now, I'm not a big basketball fan, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those Owls back out on the court.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good season. Well, that does it for this episode of Whip City Weekly. I'm Christina Pinto.
And I'm Megan Lucier. Take care, Westfield.